Today on the 1% podcast, we are excited to welcome Maddax Mason. Maddax is the starting quarterback at Boise State University. We're going to talk to him about his life growing up in Lehi, Utah, getting recruited to Boise State, coming in, earning his way into the starting job. We'll talk also about getting to play with Ashton Genty and the 2024 team and all the success that they had and what it looks like moving forward into 2025. So we're excited to have Maddax Mason on the podcast with us today. Season ends. What are you doing? Like, what does the off season look like for you? Like, what does this commitment look like at this level? And maybe even like from in season and then off season stuff. Like, what does your life and your schedule look like? And talk about the team this last year and what you guys were able to accomplish and what do you feel like helped propel you to that, and what that looks like this next year. Obviously not having Ashton, but having that mentality like, hey, next man up. Maddax Mason, welcome to the podcast.
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. This is awesome. So, those of you that don't know Maddax, obviously in the intro, but we'll talk a little bit about Boise State football. But we want to get to know you as a person. When we put this out there that we were having on the podcast, a lot of people reached out with questions about football and stuff like that. But a lot of people ask questions about you and wanted to get to know you. So let's just kind of start there. Like, where did you grow up at? Where's home? Tell us about your family. In doing some prep and some homework, I learned that you're named after Greg Maddux and Derek Jeter. Yeah. So that's where your name comes from. But maybe tell us a little bit about your family and growing up and all that stuff.
Yeah, I grew up in Lehi, Utah, and I have 5 siblings. I've got an older brother who's named Mick, older sister Macy Joe, and then 3 younger brothers, McGuire, Mays, and Murphy. And then we're all named after baseball players. It's like a big thing. My family's a big baseball family. Right. Obviously, my dad coached baseball, and he still is to this day. He started when he was 26. He's probably been around it for 30 plus years.
Okay,
played it in college and
loves baseball.
Yeah, it's been a baseball family.
So is he disappointed that you chose football over baseball, or
no? Not at all. He actually loves football too. Like deep down, he wanted to be a football guy, and then the circumstances took him to baseball, and then he's been baseball ever since. But he was stoked when we made it a football thing.
Yeah. So are your parents both from Utah, or?
My dad actually grew up in Idaho Falls.
Okay.
And then my mom grew up in Cleveland, Utah. It's like the middle of nowhere.
Okay. And they eventually settled in Lehi.
Yeah. Okay. My dad was coaching at, I guess it's Utah State Eastern now, in Price, Utah. Okay. And my mom was going to school and my dad was coaching. Okay. And that's when they met each other and then moved to Lehi when my dad got the head coaching job at Utah Valley.
Okay. Yeah. So your dad's head baseball coach at Utah Valley?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago. Up until 4 years ago, he was.
Okay.
So he was like my whole life.
Okay. So that's that. The college athletics, that was all part of your life?
Yeah, always.
Living in the dugout, being on the team.
Yeah, I was the bad boy. I mean, I have some funny stories of being a bad boy.
Just growing up, like traveling with them,
yeah,
around the team.
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of trips that I grew up loving, like USC, and I was able to go to USC with them, like Sac State a couple of times, and then obviously just every home game, I was the bad boy.
Yeah. So athletics were a big part of your family growing up. I have the whole M thing going on with the whole family.
Yep.
It's funny, actually. I met your mom a year ago and some change. It was after the spring game.
Okay.
And so we got to the Boise State spring game, and afterward, our kids wanted to go and get pizza at Grimaldi's in the village. So we take the kids and go get pizza at Grimaldi's, and we have 7 kids, right? Like, so it's kind of chaotic. And we're sitting next to this other family. It's all decked out in their Boise State stuff, and obviously, like, you know, they were a little further along in life than we are. I'll put it that way. And so I see this, you know, mom, grandma, whatever, kind of playing with this little girl and kind of taking her around. She was getting kind of restless and everyone else was sitting there at pizza or whatever. And anyway, so I remember if I made a comment to her, she made a comment to me first. And we started talking about the spring game. And I was like, oh, do you guys have someone that plays? And she's like, yeah, I'm Maddax's mom. And at first I remember just being like, Maddax. Like, oh, the quarterback kid. Like, oh yeah, totally. Right. But this was still like when you were, I guess I would say maybe relatively unknown, right? Like you came in 2023 and played well, but split a lot of reps between you and Talon and other people. Maybe let's rewind back a little bit and talk about your high school experience. Getting recruited to Boise State. You were a 3-star athlete in high school?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. So I kind of talk about that whole process of getting recruited, playing in high school. They've talked about like some of your high school accomplishments and what that whole process was like.
Yeah, so I didn't play varsity my freshman year. I played junior varsity, but I was able to have a varsity touchdown pass and we were up by a lot, which was sweet.
Okay.
And then my sophomore year, some kid transferred from Lehigh to American Fork. He was a senior. I was a sophomore. I ended up winning that job. And then we went on and played in the state championship and got smacked by Corner Canyon.
Okay.
And I threw 4 picks in my sophomore year state championship game.
Those Corner Canyon teams were legit. Who was playing quarterback for Corner Canyon?
That was Cole Hagan.
Cole Hagan.
Yeah. And
I mean, they've had a stream of them, right? From Isaac Wilson, obviously like Zach Wilson was there. Devin Brown was there.
Yeah. Jackson
Dart was there, right? Like, yeah.
Because I ended up playing Jackson Dart the next year.
Okay.
And then Devin Brown was senior when I was a senior too. So it was always just a battle. I lost them. They ended my season every year. Every year I started in high school, they ended my season.
Well, they've had some dang good teams.
Yeah,
sure, right?
yeah. But when it comes to recruiting, it was like February of my junior year. I was just getting ready for baseball, but I had torn my labrum. Yeah, I tore my labrum, my left one, and so I wasn't really playing baseball. I was more doing like, I kind of got into the 7-on-7 circuit, and I'd never done it before. Okay. So that was the only time I did it. And then Coach Plow at the time was the coordinator, and he just hit me up on Twitter, and we had talked from February till forever. And I like really thought I was getting close to offering, and then I see that they had offered this kid from Bosco. His name was Caden Hauser. He ended up obviously decommitting from Boise, but when I saw him decommit, I was like, sweet, like I'm going to get offered. And then I get the call from Coach Plow, and I was like, oh, sweet. And then he's like, hey, we're going to kind of just take a step back, make sure we're doing like the right thing. And I was so bummed. I remember being so bummed, but at the same time, I was like, I just feel like I'm going to go there. And at the time, I had just gone back from New Mexico.
Okay.
Like University of New Mexico.
And this is during your junior year?
This is like junior year summer.
Okay.
Yeah, like getting ready to be a senior.
Yeah.
And I'd just gotten back from New Mexico, and that was my only offer. And I told myself I'm going to be committed before my senior year, so I don't have to worry about it, stress about it. And so I was like getting ready to commit to like New Mexico. And I'm so glad I didn't. But Coach Plow was actually the one that was like, hey, do not do that. I'm telling you right now, do not do that. And then it ended up happening like 3 weeks later. Boise calls, offers me within like 15 seconds. I'm like, well, I'm telling you right now, I'm committed. Like, so I committed on the spot. Nobody really knows that, but that was a cool story. And then really just ended up.
But so you wanted to come to Boise State?
Yeah, from the very beginning.
Okay.
I was like, and I never really grew up a Boise State fan. I obviously knew about it, but I was never a huge.
You're growing up right down in the middle of BYU.
Yeah.
Actually, Utah territory.
I made it flipped. Whoever was better, I was a BYU or Utah fan until I got to high school. I was like, I'm more of a BYU guy. But I'd never grown up a Boise State fan. All of a sudden, I get offered by Boise, and I'm like, or I even came out here the one time. I was like, this is the place I want to be, like the coaches and everything. And then just happened to work out in the perfect time.
So Coach Av was here at the time.
Yeah, he was the head coach.
Recruited.
Yeah.
What was your relationship like with him? Did you get to know, I mean, obviously you're an offensive guy. Coach D would have been, on the defensive side of the ball at the time. Did you get to know Coach Danielson at all, or who was kind of involved in that recruiting process?
Yeah, it was really just the offensive side. But I talked to a lot of like the other coaches. I mean, I had talked to Coach D coming out here, visits and everything. Like I had conversations with all those guys before I actually got here. It wasn't anything like I had with Coach Plow or Coach Miller.
What do you feel like was the biggest draw to Boise State? Like you said, you came out here, you instantly knew that you loved it. Like what was it? Like what was the main draw? Like obviously the program.
Yeah.
They rolled out, but like you wanted to be the right fit.
Yeah.
Like you'd been in New Mexico, you'd been here. What kind of stood out most to you, and what was like the draw coming to Boise State?
Yeah, I just think, like you said, the program itself was obviously excellent, but more so Coach Plow played a huge role in that just because of our relationship. I mean, talk about a guy I was able to trust, because if it wasn't for him, I probably would be in, I don't even know if I'd be in Albuquerque anymore, but the guy that I was able to trust just to kind of be like, hey, do not do that. And then it all worked out. And I mean, every like coach on staff at the time, I know Coach Miley, who's back on staff now, was a huge deal in it. Coach Pop, those guys were all huge deals in me coming to Boise.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. So another one of the questions that we got asked was, what advice would you give to high school football players that are going through this process? What have you learned through it? Obviously, the world's a little different now than it was when you were in high school and coming out. But what advice would you give to high school players?
Yeah, I always tell people right now being a high school football player trying to be recruited is like the worst possible timing.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for them just because of the way that the football, like college football is going. But
People, because the NIL
yeah,
stuff,
just
people are
transfer portal and everything.
they want to go get players from other schools.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily focused on high school.
Yeah,
players.
like the impact now is what people look at. You don't see as many developmental programs in comparison to what it has been.
Yeah.
And I think high school recruiting is, people always say it's the funnest time of your life, but it also can be like the most stressful time of your life. And more so people get it mixed up is there is so much time. You don't think there is, but there's a lot of time. I mean, you don't have to be, like, I look back on my experience. I didn't have to be committed before my senior year. That was like a self-induced stress, though. You really shouldn't have been that way. And it worked out, but a lot of the time, like, it's stressful, but it also is fun. And I never was a fan of it until I was in it, but like the 7-on-7 circuit, like, is a real thing. And like a lot of people look into that.
Yeah.
And obviously if you have really good high school film, that helps a lot. But like when it comes in terms of like what coaches are you playing for in your 7-on-7 circuit to where they can kind of get your name out to other people. I mean, I remember I'd committed to playing with the 7-on-7 team. It's called Team Paula because Jackson Dart was the quarterback before me, and then he obviously graduated, so I was like the next quarterback. And after I just got off the phone with the coach, like probably 20 minutes later, I get my first phone call ever from a collegiate coach, and it was Iowa State. I'm like, that's big time. Like, that's the first college I ever talked to. So, like, the right people and the right team go a long way.
Get connected.
Yeah, and obviously, it's so fun. Like, that's the funnest time of your life. And it does cause a lot of stress because it's like, well, am I going to go play? Am I going to go do this? But
yeah,
it's supposed to be a fun thing.
So, another one of the questions we got asked a lot is, what were things that you did through high school that you felt helped make you successful and help put you in this position, right? Because, those that don't know, Maddux is not large in stature, right? Like, you're not the prototypical 6'4", 220, 230, quarterback coming out. Talk a little bit about that and how, what you felt like you did, whether that was working with like quarterback coaches, your training, just putting the time in and studying film. Like, what were things that you did that you feel like helped separate you, having to win the starting job over a kid that transferred in as a sophomore? And then, I mean, this just kind of been the theme of your career, right? It's like dudes come in and dudes come out, and, you just kind of always seem to be there. So what are some of the things that you did at that time of your life? And then we'll kind of get into like, what do you do now?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing that people often leave out of like a quarterback's ability is like a competitor. And I mean, even to this day, like if I watch a high school kid that Boise's recruiting, like that's the one thing I'm like actually looking for because it's lacked.
Yeah.
Like people ask that question to me all the time, like, what did you do? And like, it's the simple like concept of competition. I wasn't the biggest, I wasn't the strongest, by no means was I the fastest, but I also wasn't going to lose. I mean, I know there's so many kids in high school that, like, especially where I grew up, like a lot of the kids I was with, it was the same way. Like losing was the worst possible thing that could happen. And
I love to win, but I hate losing even.
Yeah, exactly. And I look back on, like, people always talk about like the great players are the ones that like are questioning if they're doing enough. Well, on the flip side, the average players are the ones that are completely confident and like, oh, I've done enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I look back on my high school still to this day, like, did I really do enough? Did I really train with my quarterback coach enough?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Let's talk specifics. And what were you doing? So season ends, let's say, freshman year, you're playing JV football. Season ends, what are you doing? Like, what does the off season look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, mine was a little different. I would recommend this to every athlete of like playing multiple sports, whether it's baseball, whether it's track, whether it's basketball,
100%.
because the athleticism that comes from other sports creates more towards football. And so, but on the flip side, like football off season, spring football is during baseball season. Well, I'd go practice baseball, play a baseball game, and then, well, sweet, I had to go right back out to spring football practice.
Yep.
And I'm blessed to have a great quarterback coach. His name's Dustin Smith, like awesome dude, to where like he was super lenient and flexible with my schedule in high school and understood kind of where I was. Like, I have baseball certain days, but still there's like tune-ups and like simple things that kind of got me better.
Yeah.
And that was all throughout high school. I mean, it was like And even baseball, like I was playing summer baseball when football was like in swing.
Yep.
I never really played fall ball because I didn't really want to injure myself playing baseball while I'm
Yep.
playing football.
Yep.
And so it was like that to me is like playing multiple sports, but understanding like if you're gonna like I had this conversation with my brother the other day actually, like because I asked him like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a baseball player? Or do you want to be a football player?
Yeah.
He's like, I want to be a football player. And I said, so why did you not go out to spring practices? I'm like, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you told me you went to 4 spring practices. Well, they had 20, and you want to be a football player, but you're not going to be willing to go like during another season to practice and perfect yourself in the game that you want to play for the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's huge. And I'm a huge proponent. And every elite athlete and coach all says the same thing. I was like, they do. Like, whether it's Nick Saban, whether it's Mike Krzyzewski, whether it's Tom Brady, or whether it's Spencer Danielson or anyone in between, right?
Yeah.
Everyone says, hey, we want dual sport athletes. And just like you mentioned, like that can be a hard thing. Like they all talk about how playing multiple sports brings value to you and understanding different roles on different teams, right? Maybe you're the star quarterback, but then you're going to be a role player on the baseball team or baseball team or whatever, or vice versa. The different athletic movements, getting trained, just all the advantages that come with playing multiple sports, but it's hard. And now more than ever, where every sport is a year-round sport, just like you were saying, right? It's like people can say that, right? Like some coach like, oh, hey, we want you to be a dual sport athlete, but they don't really help kids to be able to do that.
Honestly, high school coaches are the worst about that. Like the amount of like
they all care about their program.
Exactly. Yeah. Like and it was both sides. Like my football coach would be frustrated if I was doing like summer baseball, or like my baseball coach would be frustrated if I was doing football stuff. And then I was like, well, I'm doing both. Like at some point there's got to be an acceptance. But a lot of high school coaches are like a little bit of a problem in that term but like you said, they're going to be the same person. It's like, no, you should play multiple sports. Yeah. It's like, well,
then you get mad. Sorry, I can't be in 2 places at once.
Yeah, then let me.
And trying to balance that. And so I'm a huge advocate, and I tell this with programs that I work with, that you have to work together, because what's going to end up happening is that some kids are going to choose football, some will choose baseball, some will choose basketball, some will choose track or wrestling or whatever. Like if the programs don't work together, you're going to end up dividing kids, and it's not going to create the best program for you. So working together is advantageous for the coaches. And I tell kids this all the time. Like I have kids that I talk to. My son's 14. He'll be a freshman in high school this year. And I've been coaching he and his buddies since they were 6, 7 years old. I was having a conversation with one of them the other day where we were talking about this very thing. Like, look, every elite coach, every elite athlete will tell you the exact same thing. Yeah. Play multiple sports. Yeah. Don't specialize in just one. And the only people that will tell you to do that are club coaches or high school coaches. Right? Those would be the only ones that will tell you to go specialize in one sport.
Right.
And not even the best ones. Like the best ones, in my opinion, really see that and really care enough about the kids to help them and want them to go play other sports, and they're willing to work together in their programs to make it possible. So, so you're basically pulling like 2-a-days every day all year round, right? Like whether you're playing baseball and doing football training, or you're playing football and then, working baseball stuff in there, is you're trying to balance that. Talk about what were you doing for like speed and agility, strength, like all that type of stuff in the off season as well. Did you guys have a good program in high school that you were doing that? Or was it something that you were working with coaches outside of that as well? And then maybe about like your preparation and your film study, right? Like just in watching you play, it's pretty apparent that, the game is operating at a much slower pace for you than it is for a lot of young quarterbacks. Maybe talk about the preparation that's gone into that. Is that something that you've always done, or did you learn that from someone along the way?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like working out, our high school, we had both baseball, early morning weights, and football weights, and they did a good job, but I always trained outside as well. Dave Stroshan's his name. He's great. He trains a lot of guys in Utah. He's sent multiple guys into the league, and still, like, if I go back, I'm like, hey, Dave, can I come work out for a couple of days? Like, it's awesome. Like, he is really good at what he does, and so he actually worked with my dad's team at Utah Valley for multiple years, and then they kind of stopped, and so that's how my dad knew him and got me into it. And I know like my older brother went there, my younger brothers, I mean, they're supposed to go, but they don't. No, but
They're on the one of the bus.
yeah, no, they get after it, kind of. But that's like, to me, it was like the big deal of like, it sucked as bad as it did. Like, oh, well, let's go have a baseball practice. Well, let's go to Stroshine right after and train that evening. Like, it sucks.
Yeah.
But it helps. It helps a lot. I mean, strength goes the furthest ways in any athletic, and people mishap that. But if you're strong, you're going to be a better football player, baseball player, basketball player, everything. Yeah. And in terms of preparation, my sophomore year, before we getting ready to play in the season, my offense coordinator, who still is like one of the guys I talk to all the time, um, he would meet with me. And actually, I guess it started before that. When I was a freshman, he would meet with me in the mornings, like super early morning. My dad would drop me off at the high school, and I would drive. He would actually drive me to the junior high, because in Utah, unlike most places, it's like freshmen are still considered the junior high.
Yeah.
So it's like 7th through 9th grade, and then high school is 10th through 12th. And so he would actually drive me to the junior high, and then that kind of carried over into the sophomore year. As I got older in high school, I really didn't watch much like opponent scout. I mean, I'd obviously watch myself and certain things that I need to do better, but really didn't get to opponent scout. The best here that has helped me would 100% be Hank.
Okay.
Hank was really good at that in terms of like watching and breaking down film. And obviously coaches set it up now where it's like pure success, where there's cut ups of what, I mean, I like super process oriented of like Monday, this is what I'm watching. Tuesday, I'm watching this. Wednesday, I'm watching this. And by Thursday, I should have a lot of it to where I'm like dialed. But it's like if I want to watch a game or again or something like that. And I think I lost that a little bit my junior, senior year of high school, but being able to retain that more now, and it helps so much. Like, talk about a confidence builder to a whole nother level. I mean, we're walking into Eugene, and I really know exactly what their game plan is on defense.
Yeah.
And talk about like stress relief that comes from that.
Yeah. So just the fact that you felt so well prepared, do you feel like, I'm going to talk about that, like what goes into that? Just having all the cut ups, having the film so dissected that you guys understand what their tendencies are going to be on given situations, that you know what to expect based on personnel groupings and formations and distance. Like, you just felt really, really well.
Yeah. I mean, like the quarterback, I mean, Coach Cutter would do it, but like the QC, quality control analyst, that kind of was with the quarterbacks. I mean, I walk in on a Tuesday morning and it would be numbers like, hey, 50% cover one and this like down in distance. Or if they're playing a 2-minute drill, they're going to run cover 2 and mix in a quarter look, like those certain things that go into it. And then I just go see the numbers itself. And then I actually watch it and kind of see the looks that we're getting. And it's crazy to me that like guys can break down stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's their job, but it still is like the most impressive thing, and it helps so much,
For sure.
like so much.
Yeah. I mean, if you're prepared, you should not fear, right?
Yeah.
The more you're prepared for something, the less chance you have of being afraid of it. Like,
Right.
if you've thrown a football 10,000 times on, this situation, like, you're not afraid of it because you're well prepared. Whereas people that don't do the preparation, you see a completely different result come out of it, but if they're not prepared. So you make the decision coming to Boise State. What did that look like when you first arrived here? Obviously you didn't come in as the top guy. You came in and you had to start earning your way up. Like, what did that look like? What did you do? What was kind of like your personal mantra to get to where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of comes down to the competitive nature a little bit, but if I get to talk to like guys that come in or like recruits, the first thing I tell them is like, almost be ready to get disappointed. Like, really, it's the most humbling experience that anyone could go through. Like, because you come from like your hometown where you're the man. Like, you're walking around like you're the man. Well, then you come with 25 other guys that the exact same way. And really, at that point, you're like the lowest on the totem pole. And it's like a culture shock as can be. I mean, I even remember my first fall camp, my freshman year. Like, I was just mixing with like the white group, which was like third string guys. And I thought I was having a great camp, like to the point where I was like, I was playing better than some of these guys. Like, I don't know. Well, then I walk in, it's like, hey, you're going to run scout team and be like the 4th string quarterback. And I'm just like, well, talk about being humbled in the best way possible. Like, that kind of struck me a little bit. But obviously that freshman season was like unlike anything else, really. I mean, Coach Pog gets fired 4 games in.
Yeah.
Hank decides to leave. Talon takes over the job. And then it kind of was like riggedy at the beginning. And then Sam, they're like both were playing. And then I ended up being the backup. But when I was named, I told my mom this, or I tell people this all the time. When I was named the 4th-string quarterback my freshman year, I was like, what am I doing here? Like, go on a mission.
Yeah.
I tell people that, like, I should have went on a mission. But then after the year went on and I got named the backup, I'm like, oh, I'm in a good spot now. And it's just crazy how, like, I like to use, like, the hard work works. Like, and it's not like I was doing anything extra, but it's like the simple and right things go beyond what expectations that people
Like, what did you feel like were some of those simple and right things that you were doing?
I mean, it's as simple as being on time to certain meetings. Like, when it comes to terms of quarterback, like progressions, like going through your progressions and being able to, because by no means did I have the best arm. Like, was I the best with my feet? But it was like, well, I know where I'm going with the ball. I know exactly where I'm supposed to be, how this play is supposed to work, what my alert is going to. And there's a lot that goes into that position. But the study that I mean, me and some of my buddies talk about this all the time. Like, our freshman year fall camp, we're sitting in the dorms and like we call it like the edgers, because like we were gaining an edge in a way of like, we'd go up and we'd study with each other. And it was like the best thing for me. I mean, I remember when I first got in, Hank, like I said, Hank was the best at preparing. And he told me, he's like, I got a poker set and I'd run my chips as like a play. And I did the exact same thing. And so like learning that and understanding the offense, and obviously being a scout team quarterback really is the worst case for that, because
you're learning the other teams.
You're really not in any offense. Like, I wasn't really in a lot of meetings. It was just like looking at a card of the opposing team, and that's what you're running. And that's fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, that was a fun time. But as soon as like it flipped switch, like, oh, you're back in the offense and learning that, like, that's where I I became really serious about what I was doing. And I think that goes a long way too.
Yeah. Talk about the demands that are on quarterback at a program like Boise State, right? Like, you obviously have a lot of demands. Talk about the preparation that goes into it. How often are you studying film? Like, you talk about the edgers, right? Trying to gain an edge. Like, what are those sorts of things that you're doing now, or that you feel like have helped get you to this point? Like, studying the playbook, knowing that. What other things you feel like have really helped you?
Yeah, I mean, like, instance this morning, we're going over our first summer install. Well, I've seen the first install in this offense probably 8 times now.
Okay.
And so I understand, like, that's the one thing, like, being in this offense for so long, I understand what this offense's plan is, what we're trying to do. But I still know I could walk out of those meetings with a note page to where, like, I took something from those meetings.
Yeah.
I think vets in the game of football take that almost as like for granted, to where like really you should be able to learn everything from every meeting that you have, and do those things to where, like, a lot of times you might see people that are like really not taking notes, kind of just like
they're just there.
They're just there going through the motions. And I know that's what helps me. Like, I could walk in with the intent to have a full note page. Like, if I really wanted to, I could walk out of that, and most people could. And it could be notes that I've taken, but it's a reminder and simple things like that. And in terms of film, I mean, off season is difficult. Like, obviously, when you were in the spring, you're able to watch your defense and like your offense and learn from clips. In the summer, it's like, oh, should I watch NFL guys? Like, those things. Like, I'm not watching South Florida right now.
Yeah,
I'm not watching Eastern Washington Air Force. Like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But when the season comes around, that's when it like really flicks on to where it's like, it's probably a good 15 hours or so by myself during the week where it's like I am locked in watching film.
15 hours a week watching film.
Yeah. And that's a rough estimate.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time too, it's like, I feel confident. I'm like, okay, I've seen this clip over and over again. Like, I've seen this clip. I know what we're trying to do with this.
Yeah.
I've watched this game. Obviously, towards the end of the year, you've got 10 games that you can watch on people. And there's certain games that are pointless. Like, am I going to go watch an Air Force play? Like, if I'm trying to like game planning in San Diego State, I'm not going to watch Air Force play them because there's no reason to watch Air Force's offense against that defense because it's completely different.
Yeah.
And so there's certain games that you pick and choose from.
What about watching film on yourself, watching film, from breaking yourself down, scouting yourself, scouting your own team, and, hey, what are we doing well? What aren't we doing well? Maybe also speak to, and I'm kind of catering this toward parents, coaches, and younger players. But what is the type of preparation that you make in scouting yourself and in seeing, okay, here's what I'm doing well, here's what I'm not doing well, and in knowing what every other person on the field with you, like quarterbacks, field general, right?
Yeah.
Like your commitment and what you found helping you, because you got to know what every single person does.
Yeah.
Right. And so maybe talk about that in your preparation and helping you be a leader on the field.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of being a leader, like it's one of my favorite things as a quarterback when guys come to me and it's like, hey, let's go throw or let's go watch film together. Because like, okay, like that's a guy I can trust because he wants to do something. And on the flip side, like at what point do I have to like kind of enforce that on guys like, hey, let's go throw with each other. Let's go watch film. And the nice part about being at Boise is I've never really had that problem where like I've never had to go people like, let's go throw with each other. A lot of the times that people come to me, which I love, like I love that. And I think that goes a long way. But in terms of like everyone on the field, that's the hard part. And I think like obviously as a quarterback, like that. And people, we laugh about it all the time. Like people could walk into a quarterback's meeting and really be confused because it's like in our meetings, a breakdown of a play, we're talking about protection. We're talking about the motion. We're talking about this simple thing of like a split. And then you add the route concept. Well, on the flip side, we need to do a defensive ID. We need to make sure we're protected.
Yeah.
And so a lot goes into that when really it's like, if I have to have a guy that I'm playing with on the field and I'm like, hey, you got to line up here. This is what you're running. Like at this level, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Like I have enough trust in my guys and hopefully that's built through meetings, conversation to where like I can trust that guy line up in the right spot.
Yeah.
Do the right thing with effort.
Yeah. But even at this level, right, you see guys with blown assignments all the time.
You do.
To talk about like what's going through your mind, right? If a play call comes in, okay, let's say you're in the huddle, play call comes in, like what are the things that are going through your mind, right? You communicate the play to the team, but you're now walking the line. Like what is going through your mind?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about? What are the first things you're seeing, identifying, and like what does that look like start to finish through a play?
Yeah, I mean the first thing, like you get in the huddle, you break the huddle after you call the play. And as I'm walking up, I'm like picturing this play going through in my head. Like, okay, I've got this motion. This is what I have to time it on. This is my footwork. And then on the flip side, like once I'm up, it's like, all right, what am I getting into this play? Like, do I need to do anything? Like if it's a check, do I need to check it out of anything? Do I need to make sure like I don't know, like cadence the right way? Like, are they going to try and blitz me too? I got to go away. Certain things like that. And then really at that point, I have full confidence, not only myself, but everyone around me. That's like, well, the 11 guys or the 10 guys on the field with me are going to be the guys that are in the right position. And you, like you said, you see it a lot of the time, but hopefully when it really matters and stuff is like down the line, that we stay away from that. I mean, a lot of people get into it, but in terms of like emotion, a certain play call, I think most people are pretty good about that. I say that until it happens, but it's difficult because like if I have something pictured in my head and someone goes and does the wrong thing, I'm like, great.
Yeah.
That's a blown up play.
Yeah.
But it happens.
But right? Like as a quarterback, hey, this is what my protection is. I'm IDing the defense, right? I'm seeing what we're getting. I feel confident based on my preparation that I know based on this look in this situation, this is what I'm getting out of the defense.
Yeah.
Maybe we have a shift, we have a motion, something that's, in there that's telling me, okay, yep, this is just one more variable.
Yeah.
Right? This is one more thing that's telling me, okay, when we shift, this is how they're going to react. When we motion, here's how they're going to react. Okay, this is just data for me to analyze. Okay, I know exactly what I'm getting here. Therefore, I know where I'm going with the football, or we need to check out of what we're in. What is your... you and Coach Cutter, I'm sure, had a really close relationship. Maybe talk about like what that looks like now and the level of confidence that he had in you to get you into a right situation, right? Like obviously you trust him to help you the right play call. But sometimes things don't go as you planned. Talk about maybe making checks at the line, the type of trust and relationship that the two of you had together, and what that kind of looked like, and the freedom that he gave you to help control the offense.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to it. There's really 3 variables of checks. I mean, when it comes to a run play, we could just flip sides.
Yeah.
We could go to a different run play. When it comes to a pass play, we can change the route combination. It's like as simple as a signal. And really last year, I didn't have to do that. And I think, like, there are times, but that's like more of a game plan thing. Like, hey, we have this play to this play.
Yeah.
So there's multiple plays within a play call. And so those were where I really would check. I would never, like, if we were in just a firm play call that had no check, I never checked out of it, because I was like, at that point, it's out of my hands.
Yeah.
Like, I think our coaching staff does a great enough job, like beyond well enough. Like, they're great to set us up for the right position, like against all looks. I mean, you see that all the time, like on our run drawings. Like, you'll have 4 different run drawings. They're the same run, but it's just against different defenses, to where like our guys are prepared for every little bit of what they're going to get, and still going to be in a very efficient play.
Yeah.
And so last year I never ever did that, to where like we had a firm play. And honestly, I don't know if I will this year, because it's like, that's the same thing. Like, I know Coach Potter's going to have us in the best run play possible.
Yeah.
And if there's an alert and a check, like, I'm obviously going to go through those checks and make sure I have the offense in the right play. But if there's not, I mean, I feel like there's a reason that there's not a check, because of the fact, like, we've game planned well enough for that.
So all those are built in, and
Yeah.
as a system, all those are built in. So if you're checking to something, it's already built into the play call, and
Yeah.
you know what you're getting.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And talk about your relationship with Coach Potter, the transition that's happened there, and what that's looked like and been like. I'm sure you guys have had a relationship over the years since you've been here as well, but obviously that's a change for him and a change for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's little like, because obviously I've been with Coach Potter for years now, and Coach Potter's the best. Yes. Our whole staff is guys I could walk down the hallway of our coaching staff, and I could hop into every office for more than 10 minutes and have a conversation.
Yeah.
And so that's nothing I'm really worried about. And then when it comes to terms of football, like, it's the same thing. He'll ask for not advice, but like my opinion on certain things. I'm giving him my honest thoughts, and vice versa. Like,
Yeah.
same thing.
Oh, that's huge. That's huge that an offensive coordinator can have that type of relationship with his quarterback. Like, that's what you want.
Yeah. I mean, even like last year with Coach Cutter, like, we'd go through a game plan and like rank plays of like what my liking is. And he said, like, it's a 51-49. Like, really, at the end of the day, it's last call. You got last call, but it's almost a valued opinion towards this game plan, which is great. It's all, and I know Coach Potter's gonna be that same way. It is a little weird that it's not like a guy I'm meeting with every day. He's not leading our meetings. I mean, being the tight end coach, he's never with the quarterbacks. But if there's any questions or things that come up, it's so easy to like, hey, Coach Potter, and talk to him about it, which is the best thing in the whole world. And I love the fact that, like, maybe we could sit, the one day we sat and talked about old funny movies with like a coaching staff, and I could do that. And on the flip side, I expect, if I'm doing the wrong thing, a whooping from Coach Potter to kind of get me into shape. And that's just the relationship that we've built over the years, but now specifically as the coordinator to quarterback, it's special.
No, love that. Talk about the commitment of being the quarterback at Boise State, right? Like, full-time Division I athlete. What does this look like as far as in terms of like your time goes, and what your life is, pretty much all consumed by Boise State football? I'll see occasionally you're out of town or you get to go spend some time with your family or whatever, but maybe talk to parents, coaches, players. Like, what does this commitment look like at this level? And maybe even like from in season and then off season stuff. Like, what does your life and your schedule look like?
Yeah, in season, I mean, really, there's nothing outside that's going to kind of pull away from what I'm doing. And it is the best thing. It's like one of my favorite things in the whole world, that like I have something every week. It's like, oh, we got USF this week. And that's really like the focus. And in terms of off season, I'm a big believer in like, hey, if I have my breaks, I have my breaks. Like, there's working out and stuff, staying in shape that needs to be done. Don't get me wrong. But like if we have the opportunity to really be away from Boise, like I'm gonna go be with my family. I'm gonna be with some buddies. Like that's things I'm gonna do because I love that. And so in terms like off season especially, if a lot of the times like I will go and do things, but at the same time, like when I'm doing those things, the very forefront of my mind is Boise State football. What image am I giving off?
Yeah.
Would this look bad as the starting quarterback to go and do this thing when people are still here? And there's things that go into it, but really like the commitment of it is like that's my job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if I was to go mess around and like if I'm home and I would never go to like BYU and train because it's like the worst image that I could possibly have. Like,
yeah,
in a life of a person that works, like your job is your focus every day. And although I'm not, if I'm back home with my family, although I'm not here, that's something I'm always, and it really has become to the point like I'll miss my guys. Like that's the best part about Boise, like my guys. And so like when I'm home, it's like, well, I'm driving, I'm bored. Well, let me call a couple of my buddies just to check in.
Yeah.
I talked to Chris Marshall probably 5-6 times when he was back home and I was home just because like I miss those guys. I talked to Trail, like I talked to a lot of my teammates because I'm like, oh, I miss those guys. Like let's check in on them.
Yeah.
And so that like the commitment is really like
Us as well.
Yeah, it's just the job. Like that's it. And there's a lot that I've done in my life and found like the foundation of my life is relationships. And that's why I love Boise State is because of the relationships that I've built. And when it comes to terms of commitment, like I mean, the best way to put it is like whatever, cheat on those relationships.
Yeah.
And put those relationships in jeopardy for something that I know I love and care about.
Yeah.
So deeply.
So when you're in season, what does that look like? Okay, let's say you guys play Saturday night. What does Sunday look like for you? Getting training, getting your body right, all that stuff, preparation, leading through the week. Obviously, you're a student athlete, so talk about the demands of being in class. And, you know, one of my favorite sayings is we're not here to play school.
That's exactly. I mean,
but, you know, talk about that.
I think I went on campus twice last year during the season.
Okay.
And all my classes are online.
Yeah.
And it's just not only is it the simplest way, but I feel like it's the best for me to where it's like get home, knock school out.
Yeah.
And then do it.
You're not spending a lot of time commuting in between classes and things.
Not one day. Yeah. Not one bit. I mean, a lot of times in season, I hardly ever leave my house, really. Like, I'll be at the facility till however long I need to be there. And that's the one thing, too, is, like, I'm not watching film. Like, I watch film in my house if I need to, like, oh, I need to watch this cut up or something. A lot of the times, I am back at the facility. Like, with practice, we'll get done around 1. Might go take a nap and then be back around 4 or 5, kind of watching and asking questions. And a lot of the times, too, it's like, I could just go back there and just like sit and chat with coaches. Like that's fun for me.
Yeah.
But in season, especially, like there's not much I'm doing outside.
So Sundays,
Sunday,
talk to that. Like you're getting treatments, you're getting trained. Like if you're banged up or whatever, like guys are working through stuff. Yeah. What does that look like? Kind of break it down day by day for us. What your schedule looks like going through when you're in season.
Yeah. I mean, Sundays when I'm home, like when we're home,
yeah,
Boise, it's a lot different because my family's here, and so like I'm going to get breakfast with family, and then we have to go in on Sundays to like check our bodies, just kind of make sure everything's okay, because obviously waking up after a game, you have that soreness that's next level.
Yep.
And luckily,
got hit by a car 7 times in the
yeah. Luckily for me, I wasn't. I feel like I stayed pretty in good shape throughout the year. Like I didn't have any like nagging injuries to where I would like really have to treatment myself a lot. And there are certain things like I would do in terms of like rolling out or cupping and just like get my body in a good shape.
Yeah.
But really that was it. Like that's all I did on Sundays. Sundays was the day that I would catch up on homework and like do homework.
Reach the batteries that day.
Yeah, but it's like I'm super easygoing on Sundays. I actually love like to go on walks. Like on a Sunday night, it's like, all right, let's just reset ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, and to me, that's like my favorite thing is like a Sunday after a Saturday game was like the best.
Yeah.
Wake up, hang out with them while they leave around noon, 1. I go take care of my body a little bit, eat dinner. After dinner, go on a nice little walk and just reset myself.
Yeah. So then Monday, what does Monday look like?
Monday is when we start like our game prep. And so by then we'll have cut ups and everything that need to be watched. I'll watch games Sunday night, Monday night are times like I watch full games. We'll be in there, we'll lift. It's a super like easygoing practice. And then Tuesdays when we start like a hard practice, Wednesday's hard practice, Thursday's an easier.
So like Monday morning, Tuesday morning, like you're up early, you get over the facility. Like what does that look like as far as like the breakdown of your?
I can't remember if I don't think Mondays was morning. I think Mondays was in the evening.
Okay.
Yeah, Mondays was in the evening. We'd like meet, we'd lift, and then like a light like walkthrough practice, kind of correct and review thing, as well as install, just like for the next week moving forward. And then Tuesday it's full go, Wednesday it's full go, and then Thursday and Fridays when we kind of like start. By then the game plan's in, and so we like Thursday's a complete like walkthrough, doing pads, cleats, it's just shoes. And then Friday it's like we spark our bodies a little bit, and then by then it's like you're ready to go. You should be prepared.
Yeah. Very cool. Talk about your relationship with Coach Danielson. We've been really fortunate since the start of the podcast. We had Shea Oladipo on. His episode just aired today. We had JD on. We've had Coach D on. And so it's been fun to kind of get everyone's different perspective on, the program and different things like that. Talk about your relationship with Coach Danielson and the impact that he's had on the program, the direction. Where do you see things going from here, and what's that relationship been like for you and your development, obviously, as the starting quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, like my relationship with Coach D is really like special. Like I value that relationship. I mean, like I'll talk about it, like even as far back as Coach D just gets the interim job, I'm injured, and then we end up winning like the Mountain West Conference championship and losing the bowl game. I'm having conversations with Coach D because, like, I don't know why you've been worried about me leaving, but it was like, you're here, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. But then it was also like, okay, we need to bring in a quarterback because Taylor left. And that's when like Malachi came in. But through the whole thing, it was like full transparency of like, I was talking to Coach D, like I was really in the recruiting process.
Yeah.
And to me, that was like one of the coolest things because you wouldn't see that very often. Like I knew before Malachi was coming that Malachi was coming. Like I knew that because of what Coach D like had said to me. And so that to me is like something I valued so much out of Coach D. And then in terms of like throughout the whole like process, there was such a confidence instilled in me to where it was like, I mean, for instance, fall camp last year, I had a very below average first couple of days of fall camp. Mind you, that was my first time I actually played football in about a year because of my injury still.
What injuries did you have?
I tore my MCL and PCL.
Okay.
Because in 23, I ended up being named the starter.
Yep.
And then my first start is when I tore my MCL and PCL. And so that's why I missed the rest of the year. And I did a little spring ball, but I never did like actual team football. And then fall camp was just a struggle. I mean, I think it was after practice 3 or 4. We were walking, like we practice in the morning, meet, and then walk through at night. And we're walking off the field from the walkthrough, and Coach Cutter is like, "What's going on?" And I'm sitting there like, I'm already in shambles at this point. I'm like, I have no idea. Like, this is not me playing football. Like, I threw a couple of picks. I like to take pride and take care of the ball. And I'm like, this is just not me at all. And I was like
the ball just wasn't going where you wanted it to go?
And just like, it was very unlucky. There's tips and stuff that kind of went on. But there was a lot of interceptions that I thrown. I was like, I don't like to do that. Like, that's the last thing I ever did. But I talked to Coach Cutter, and I was just like more bummed than anything. And then Coach D calls me that night at like 10 o'clock. I'm like, you're really not asleep, homie? Like, you better go to sleep. You got to wake up. And he probably thought the same thing about me.
Yeah.
But I sat and had like a 30-minute conversation with Coach Danielson just about like, one, my confidence, how I was struggling so bad, and really how like the whole football thing was just like not going well for me right now. And he sat and instilled confidence. And then obviously as the year went on, there was like, our relationship just got stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And then by the end of the year, like, I mean, today it was funny. We were just like talking to each other, and he said something about like, me being his second son. I'm like, really? Like, if I had a second dad, like Coach Danielson was a second dad, like I'm home for break. I probably talked to Coach D like 10, 12 times when I was home for Christmas break, or not Christmas, home for like the spring, summer break, whatever. We have May off. And I like just to chat, like, what's up, coach? Miss you.
Yeah.
And he would call me like, miss you, what's up? Like, how's everything going?
Yeah.
And it would be like every 3 or so days, every 4 days. And we were just catching up. And to me, like, that is why Coach D does it. He loves his relationship with players. And I know he's like that with a lot of other guys. You know, it's like, that's the best thing. That's all you want out of a coach. Like, to sit and be able to have a conversation with the coach, to be comfortable. Like, this morning I pop in his office. To be comfortable to do that is like next level. Because I hadn't experienced that before Coach Jansen. I couldn't have done that with Av.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't have been confident to walk in and be like, what's up, coach? Like, that was a scary thing. Like, being in coach's office. But with Coach Jansen, like, I could go sit on his couch, sit and just chat. And that's the best thing. And I think going forward, that's why he's so excellent at what he does, is because of that reason. Like, the relationships that he has with guys, and how moving forward, that's just going to get stronger and help so much more.
Yeah. Well, I think that says a lot about him as a person and a lot about you and the relationship that you guys have. I've often thought, like, okay, well, what must have been going through Maddux's mind when they're bringing in Malachi, right? Like, you're obviously here, you're coming back from an injury, but what did those conversations sound like, and what was going through your brain as this was happening? Because obviously, like, no one wants to come and be the backup forever.
Yeah.
Like, you come to come compete and to come play and to come win and
Right.
do all those things that you're doing. But what was going through your mind as he's having those conversations with you? You said that he was like totally open and transparent.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, what did that sound like? What did that look like? And what's going through your mind of like, hey, they're bringing in this 5-star dude, like, you know, previously #1 quarterback recruit in the country, went to USC. We're looking at bringing him in here. Like, what's going through your mind?
Yeah. And it was just like, to me, it was just another shot of competition. And a lot of guys probably would have been scared of that, if I want to be honest. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think most people would be.
And I was just like, to me, I never really flinched. And it's funny, like, to this day, honestly, Malachi is probably one of the guys I talk to the most in my life. Like, I'll sit and text him and call him and FaceTime him. And like, I talk to him all the time. And I think at the beginning, it was a little like awkward of how our relationship was going to be.
For sure. How could
And
it
then
not?
it just formed into like, he's one of my best friends.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's
People would never imagine that.
Yeah.
But he is. Like,
Yeah.
And I know his brother was out here on a visit this last weekend, and like seeing his parents, like, what's up, mom and dad? Like, I give him hugs.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's the best thing to me. So like, when I first heard about it, it was like I was just almost like, really? Like, I'm going to have to do this again? But at the same time, I was like, why would I ever not just compete? Like, that's what I love to do. That's why I play football, was for the sole factor of competition. And if there was any other reason, I probably wouldn't have been.
Where do you feel like you came by that from? Like,
I think it was just how I was raised. Like, my dad being a coach, and like, I know it's funny, like, my brother that just graduated is probably the most passionate human being about like competition. And like, I like to call myself a competitor.
Yeah.
But watching him like compete, and I'm just like, to me, that's just family. Because my older brother was the same way. My brother that's on a mission was the same way. My sister is the most competitive. We could be playing Secret Hitler card games. Next thing you know, she's yelling at me going upstairs, like, all butthurt. And I'm like, and I think that's just how my family was. And so I know that's where like the competitive background.
So was your dad the more competitive one, and your mom was the ones maybe more focused on the kind, sweet, loving, like, tell you you're amazing?
Yeah. 100%. And my mom was, I love my mom, and she'd be brutally honest. Like, if it was like ugly, she'd be like, you better figure your stuff out. Like, but at the same time, it was a lot kinder than what Coach Madsen had to say. Yeah.
Your dad wasn't miserable?
No, he was pretty good. Like, when it was good, my dad was really good about it.
Yeah.
But when it was bad, it was bad.
Yeah. What did that look like? Like, the drive home, your dad, or you get home and your dad's like, hey, look, like, this is not going to work.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we were talking about this the other day. Like, my oldest brother kind of got it the worst, like being the first kid. I mean, we had like a little hitting net downstairs. My brother would just go hit on the tee. And we talked about the other night, like, how it was just like back and forth, like words just at each other the whole time. And my dad just wanted to be good, but that was his way of coaching. And I never really shied away. I mean, I got to be coached by my dad for like a year in high school, because that was when he stopped coaching at the collegiate level.
Okay.
he was like, he called himself a consultant
Okay.
at the high school level. And so I got to be coached by him. And it was definitely a little bit less of what it had been from the college level to my brothers, but he would still get on guys. And I know, like, to this day, like, he's still that same coach of, like, he'll love you more than anything. Like, he'll get emotional if it's not going how it's supposed to be, but at the same time, like, he's going to get
He's going to have high expectations.
Yeah, super high expectations.
Talk about your relationship with Ashton. Obviously, Ashton had an unbelievable season. As I like to call him, the people's Heisman, so like should have. Disappointing that it didn't go that way.
Yeah.
But talk about the impact that he had on Boise State football, your relationship with him, and you would hear people say 10 years ago, there's never gonna be another Kellen Moore, although there'll never be another Doug Marr, there'll never be another this guy, right? And it just keeps coming.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps getting better, keeps growing to new heights, right? Like 2006, no one ever thought that Boise State could up what they did in the Fiesta Bowl,
right?
Beating Oklahoma, and it wasn't just a one and done thing, right? It's like the program continues to keep growing. Ashton obviously had a big impact on that. You're talking about your relationship with him, impact that he had on the program, and then on the fact that he chose to stay, and didn't leave, right, when he would have had opportunities and probably could have gone and made more money in the short term, but obviously, getting the whatever it is, $35 million due contract.
Yeah,
second highest paid running back in the league. Obviously it worked out well for him, and maybe talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, when I think of like leadership, that's some guy that I really like want to almost mimic.
Yeah,
a leadership style off. Yeah, because it's like he was so good at his ability to kind of get in contact with and like build a relationship with everybody on the team was like the best part. I mean, my relationship with him is like the best. Like, if I saw him today, we'd probably sit for the first 5 minutes and just like laugh. Like, we would just laugh. I remember when it was his draft day, and I was gonna text him, and I was like, no, if I text him, he's not gonna answer. Like, he's probably having millions of people.
Yeah, he's got flown.
And so I just FaceTimed him. Like, I just FaceTimed him, and I was like, how are you feeling, bro? And he's just like giggling. Like, he has this giggle, and he's just giggling. I'm like, you have not changed one bit. Like, you're still gonna be the same person. Then he's like, you want to see my suit? You want to see my suit? And then goes and shows me his suit, and I'm like, that's like one of the coolest things that I'll ever experience in my lifetime, is being able to play with a player like that. And really, it's like a blessing for him to be able to or for me, it's a blessing for me to be able to have a guy like him to really like look up to in terms of not only football and like what it takes to be great, at the same time of like what it takes to be a great leader, because he was that person when the team was a little weird. Ashton fixed it.
What did you feel like he did? Like, having relationships with everyone's part of it, like being the hardest worker, being the one that's like demanding and pushing everyone to reach for a higher standard. Like what?
Yeah, as nice and funny of a guy Ashton is, he also had a side that was very, very, very serious, and he knew exactly when that needed to be pushed. Of like, let's go, like let's knock it into gear.
Yeah.
And I mean, I talk about this all the time. Like, when Ashton would like fumble, he was the hardest person ever to like get out of it. Like, I'd like go grab him, like, Ash, dude, you're fine. Like, you're literally the best player in the country. Like, why are you tripping? You're gonna go run for 75 yards the next play. Like, stop tripping about yourself. But he would just take it so hard. And the same thing, like, if I ever throw an interception, like, I'm obviously gonna be hard on myself. I'm pissed. Well, like Ashton's the first person to like have me, where it's like, dude, you're fine. Or if like we can't protect, or we can't run block, or we can't get open, like Ashton's like loving those guys to a whole nother level.
Right.
And then if it was ugly, like, he wouldn't let it get uglier. That's the one thing. Like, if it was to the point where like, this is ugly, he wouldn't, by no means he's letting it get uglier. Like, he would kind of snap at it, like, we got to figure our stuff out right now because we need to do that.
Well, and I'm a firm believer that the best leaders, if your best player can be your best leader, that's when your team can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because if your best players are not your best leaders, then other people have to step up and go be those leaders. Not that that isn't important too, right?
Right.
They have all kinds of leaders. But when your best player, when you have the best player in the country on your team, and he's your leader, and he's the one that's holding everyone to a higher standard, and it's not just, hey, he's just unbelievably gifted, but he's really lazy and he's really selfish and he's really, hard on other people and not hard on himself and wants a different standard, a prima donna, whatever. Ashton was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Right. Like everything that he did exemplified like what you'd want to lead.
Yeah. Your best players should be your best leaders. And if there's not, there's a problem. Yeah. Ashton was always the best player and he was also the best leader.
No, that's powerful. And that same thing holds true for any team, any organization, doesn't matter what it is, right? In business, your best players have to be your best leaders in order for your organization to be successful.
Yeah.
Right. If your best players are lazy and they're selfish and they don't want to be team players, they don't want to, build into the culture and the vision and the mission of the organization, like you're never going to be able to accomplish your goals because you can't have division within your organization, within your team, and really get to where you want to go. And so one of the main reasons why I love football, I love sports, is that it just teaches you so many things about life. And ultimately, being a dad, being a husband, like being a father, all those things, you have to be that leader. You have to set that culture, that standard for your own family, for your team, your organization, your company, whatever you're doing. And so sports gives you an opportunity to model that.
It does. It's the coolest thing ever too.
Well, I loved, there was a video I was watching when, they're announcing the seeds for the college football playoff and, the third seed, Boise State Broncos, and it cuts to a shot of, you and Coach D and, a bunch of people you're sitting right there on the front row. Coach D's kind of over by the stairs or whatever, jump up and slapping hands and hugging and just fist pumping, woo, let's go. It was awesome. I just seeing that energy and that excitement. And you get a little bit of a glimpse into, okay, this is what it is. This is what it's like. This is, the relationship that you guys have and that camaraderie that's built there is really something special. Maybe talk about the team this last year and what you guys were able to accomplish and what do you feel like helped propel you to that, and what that looks like this next year. Obviously not having Ashton, but having that mentality hey, next man up.
Yeah, before we really knew how good we were going to be, everyone had everyone's always we're going to be the best team. That's just every team. And if you're
for sure,
why are you doing the game? But to me, that team last year was the closest team ever. I've ever played on in my entire life. I could go sit and talk to a Marion for 15 minutes. I could go sit and talk to my scout team linebacker for 15 minutes. I could do those things because of the relationships that were built. And those relationships more of through the team were almost built off the field of what we did with each other, how we interacted with each other. I mean, guys, just hanging out with guys is that's exactly what this needs to be.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of what we experienced in training, in practice, in decks, those are big things that build trust and go a long way.
You look over and you see the dude right to your left push himself.
Yeah. If you see guys struggling just as bad as you are, I got my brothers that are doing the exact same thing as me. And it's going to get hard. Going to Wyoming late November, which was great weather, it wasn't an easy thing, but winning in November is hard.
Yeah.
And so those wins that we pulled out in November, that was because of the relationships and trust that we had in each other. And never, ever, I tell people this all the time, never, ever was there ever a flinch. We never, ever got down. It was well, shoot, we're going to turn this could go bad really fast. There was never that sick.
Yeah.
I'm in San Jose, we're down 14-0.
Yeah.
They're getting ready to score. We get a stop. And I was well, that's exactly what I knew what was going to happen, really. I knew that was going to happen because of the trust that has built. And that just got stronger and stronger and stronger as we kept winning, I mean, we scored 21 points in the Mountain West Championship early in the first half. And never once was I ever worried. Never once. And our defense was playing lights out, mind you, but they could have been playing mediocre. And I really think that they would have had that same turnout. They played elite. And that was the best part about it, is how we played as a team. We get the ball and we have good field position.
Yeah.
We put the defense in almost better field position to where they were fortunate enough to have those guys down at their down on 10-yard line.
Yeah. Which that was an awesome game. That was such a fun game to right? The atmosphere, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Right? Coach D was good enough. He had my 14-year-old son, he was 13 at the time, Cannon. came down last summer and got to go interview him for like an hour at his office for a project he was working on last summer. And as we were walking through the facility, Coach D like looked over and pointed at a picture of college game day when they had been here previously. And he like pointed up and he's like, that's where we got to get to.
Yeah.
I want these guys coming back.
Yeah.
And, it's crazy that, all that was accomplished. And obviously ESPN didn't have that game. But, to get back to like, that's where it was. Like, I mean, that was the game, right? Like that Mountain West Conference.
Yeah.
It was the game, and UNLV was a very worthy opponent.
Yeah.
Played a tough game against them down in Las Vegas. And they came here and absolutely dominated them. And defense played lights out. Offense played really well. Obviously, Ashton had an amazing game. But, just the level that the program's risen to in such a short amount of time is really a huge testament to Coach D and to you and everyone else that's been part of that. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, it's like makes football so fun.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, like, that makes football. I can walk in every day to a football facility knowing I have a smile on my face because of the guys I'm around. And then also like being able to kind of go through hardships with guys. Like, that's the glorious part of football.
Yeah, for sure. Talk about the experience of getting to play in the Fiesta Bowl, inaugural college football playoff, 12-team playoff. What was that like? Like, as you look back on that experience, what do you remember most?
Yeah, I mean, really, like, it didn't hit me. Like, I'll get nervous before the games. Like, I want to say I'm good at them, but I'm not. I'll get nervous before the games. And it didn't really hit me until, like, we ran out for, like, just our warm-up. Like, our first warm-up at first. And there was fans there, and, like, people started cheering. And I was like, oh, my goodness. Like, this is real.
Big deal.
Yeah. Like, this is real. Like, this isn't just, like, a movie no more. Like, I'm actually playing with Boise State in the Fiesta. Like, how much better can you get? Like, people dream of that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is real. And then just the whole, I mean, I remember throwing the touchdown pass to Lauder. And it's like the whole place erupted. I remember the ball leaving my hands.
Yes. That was a tight end league plays. Already know my head.
He's scoring. Like, he scores. And then, like, just the chills that get sent through your body when he scores, the crowd erupts, or T-Crow's touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, those are things I remember the most. It was just, like, it was so, like, it's a dream come true. And to be, like, the first quarterback that gets to play in a playoff, and, like, that's, like, I'm like, well.
And you balled out. Like, you played well. I don't know what you feel like your assessment is of yourself, but, like, I felt like that was probably your best game that I've ever seen you play. That, and wasn't anything new. Obviously, Penn State just had better dudes, but everyone's goal every single week was to stop number 2.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that was everyone's game plan. Stop 2, make 4, and everyone else beat you.
Yeah.
And that was obviously their game plan, and Ashton still rushed for over 100 yards and had a good game, but obviously they made it really, really tough.
Ashton still rushed for over 100 yards, but it was a bad game. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
People say it's a bad game. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's like you look at his yards after contact, what he was able to do, and it's like, I mean, they had some dudes on that team, like, no doubt. Like, that defense was legit. But you balled out and you really, really stepped up. What was your assessment of your play in that game, and how'd you feel like?
Yeah, that was the game. I hate losing more than anything, so I was so bummed. Like, I was just like, this freaking sucks. I mean, I just remember not even being able to go sleep and waking up the next morning. I'm like, this just sucks. Like, this whole thing just sucks. We should still be playing. But then I, like, really thought about it and, like, did a reflection after the game. And, like, there was a couple, probably 4 or 5 games this year that I really felt like I was able to, like, actually, like, steeply compete. Like, that was one of them. Both UNLV games were games that, like, I was, like, really able to, like, compete and leave everything out there. And really had no, like, doubt. I left no doubt in myself of those games. And so that's where I was at peace a little bit, but still I was just like, gosh, we're a certain touchdown away from changing that game. I mean, the worst part that ate me alive of that game was the very first interception I threw. I mean, we were in field goal range, and I just let the ball off my hand, and I knew it. Running the ball off my hand, I was just like, oh my gosh, that's going to be picked. And then it's picked off. And people could say what they want. I don't really care what people have to say. But when you're down 3 possessions, at some point you got to start being a little pushy with the ball.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like what people don't get is the second one that I threw was 4th and 13.
Yeah.
And we were on like our own 20 yard.
Yeah, no.
What do you want me to do? Take sack? Like, honestly, at that point, it was
You got to try and
I
like
gave him the one shot that we really could have
Yeah.
had, and it sucked. It was an interception, but was interception or turnover on downs. At that point, an interception.
Yeah,
better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like ball position's better. And then the third one, it was just like I was beating myself up, and I'm super emotional when it comes to like losing. Like I hate it. So the third one, like once I knew like I wasn't gonna get the ball again, I was just like, oh my gosh. And that drive was a good drive. That was the worst part. Like we were kind of moving down a little bit, like at least score and on a good note. And then it's like I go to throw the ball and thought Wagner was turning upfield, and he stops his feet and looks back, and I threw the ball and I just put my hands on my head and I just start walking. Like as soon as I see get him down, I'm like, oh my goodness. And I like my helmet. I think I actually kept my helmet on because I was just like, I'm not taking my helmet off. Yeah. I'm not doing that right now because it was just so, but that game sucked as bad as it sucked. It was nice to be able to like, no, like I really left zeroed out. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and really to anyone that's football enthusiast or a football fan who really understands, like, you guys competed toe to toe, Penn State, right? It's like you guys gave Penn State everything they wanted and some, right? Someone that didn't watch the game or just like a box score, I'm like, okay, Max, there are 3 interceptions. They took away Ashton, and yep, sure enough, Boise State couldn't handle it, right? They lost 31-14. It was like, no. Like this game was back and forth. You guys were trading blows in the third quarter. Obviously had a few missed opportunities with missed field goals and things like that. But, definitely like, I think that people that watched that game gained a whole new respect for Boise State football.
Yeah.
And I think people looked at that team and like, oh no, like Boise State gave Penn State everything they wanted.
Right.
And Penn State Penn State could have and should have beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Penn State should have been playing in the national championship.
They were like, that was a good football team.
Really good.
It's one of the better football teams that played.
And they had dudes on that team. It's like they got first round draft picks, like high first round draft picks on that team. And so no, it's awesome. So we call this the 1% podcast because for 2 different reasons. Number one, focusing on the things that people have done in their life to help make them the best at whatever they're doing, or in the top 1%, right? Like less than 1% of high school athletes ever could become Division I athletes. Few ever make it to a program like Boise State, get to be the starting quarterback, things like that. And then the other reason we call it that is this focus. I have a belief or almost an obsession with building your life around becoming 1% better every single day, right?
Yeah.
Having goals and having objectives of creating the life that you want to create by making small decisions every day that'll help you to get there. So I guess as we're wrapping up, what are the things that you feel like that you had done or have done in your life that have helped get you to where you're at? And then what are those things that you try and do every single day? And that if you were giving advice to your younger self, your younger brother, to younger athletes, what would be the advice that you would give them of things that they can be working on, improving themselves every day?
I'm a firm believer in goals. I mean, I actually just deleted it out of my reminders, but I want to say I was in 7th or 8th grade, and I created a reminder on my phone that says I will be a Division I athlete. And I was like, I saw it every day. That was something I like worked towards too. And on the flip side, I didn't know exactly what it would take, but I knew along the lines, like I would have to work out extra. I would have to do things that really no one else was doing. And then I also read, it was a video of making your bed every day. And I'm a firm believer, like being productive first thing in the morning will change the outcome of your day more than you ever think. And really, if you go and have a terrible day, you could have a terrible day at school, terrible day at work. Well, you come home and your bed's made. All right, there's something good. And then that leads to more good. And people could shoot me down, hate me for this, but you're supposed to sleep around a third, if not more, of your 24-hour day.
Yeah.
I probably sleep around 6 hours, 5.5 hours a night, because it's like I'm waking up early. I probably go to bed later than I should, but it's like, at what point am I able to like be super, super productive? I mean, it's like 10 o'clock last night, 10:30, and I just started reading a book. And it's like, should I be going to sleep? Maybe, but there's so much productivity of like, how productive was, and it's like a self-reflection of how productive was I in that last day compared to my next day and days going forward. And when it comes to 1% better, there's certain things that can go into that. I mean, you talked about like working out, what you feed yourself, what you read, what you listen to, what you're watching. Like those things all kind of, to me, have an impact on, you could be 1% better, or you can create yourself 1% worse.
100%, right? Like every decision that you make like that is sending you in one of two directions, right? And so, no, appreciate you sharing that with us, because I'm a firm believer that confidence comes from having a stack of evidence that you know that you can do things that you want to do, right? Or who you say you are. And so starting off with seemingly small things like getting up first thing in the morning, making your bed, getting up, being productive, right? Like focusing on accomplishing things that you can look back and it may only be 8 a.m., but you don't have the stack of evidence. It's, hey, like I am a clean person, be a person. I am a consistent person, right? Like I can do all these things and I can show up every single day. And when something new is thrown at you, you know how to handle it because you have confidence that, hey, I can go do this. Right. Yeah, I've never been the star quarterback, Boise State. That's what I figured it out. Right? Like I can go do that and I can go do something else, right? And so, no, I think that's great advice. If you're going to leave any last piece of advice for anyone coming up, anyone that wants to be in your shoes, any kid that's maybe undersized or feels like, hey, I don't have all the advantages in life, like what would you tell that kid of, hey, here's how you get there. Here's what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I got two things. Doing the simple things better. I mean, it's simple as it sounds. It's one of the simplest things you could do. Doing the simple things better.
Yeah, Coach D saying on the wall right
Yeah,
here.
the uncommon things in an uncommon way.
Yeah.
Like it's all the same thing. Do those things better. And then I said it already, but hard work works. There is no other formula. Hard work, it's just hard work. It works.
Love it. Maddux, thanks for being here with us. You're awesome, and we look forward to another successful season in Boise State this year, and we'll be cheering for you.
And I appreciate you. Thanks so much.